Welcome to the 2017 LA County Fair. It's been really fun as the new president getting to experience the fair from this side. I was one of those kids who was bussed in from the neighborhood I grew up in, so I was inspired by the trains and the animals and the rides like many kids who are here today, and like my own children. I raised my family in the city of Claremont right next door. And so I'm no stranger to this part of LA County and to this region. I want to thank all of you for being here. These community days are one of the most amazing parts of what we do during the fair, because we bring communities from all over the region to celebrate your local heroes. And of course, the best part is to be on the parade and toss beads, and the way people react to them, you would think they were actually made out of real gold. This year we're celebrating our 95th anniversary. When this idea, that's right. It's hard to believe that 95 years ago, in the city of Pomona, in downtown Pomona, this idea of a fair was born. And since then, it's become nearly 500 acres, a month-long event. This year's theme for the fair is Dare to Fair Old School Style. So you'll see here on this side of the room, there is a list of ways in which we celebrate what that means. And as president, I've been walking around the fair the last 2 weeks, checking things off. And I hope that you do the same thing. All you have to do is go to our website and download our app, and you could see all the different ways you could celebrate the fair. From making friends with a goat, to buying a handmade gift, entering one of the contests, and the one that I recently learned how to crochet, which was not that much fun, and certainly one of the hardest things I've ever done. But once you get to do all 10, you get to enter a raffle to enter into new free tickets for concerts and for future fairs. We're also doing something special this year called Dare to Give. You could all see that some of us have these pens here that are asking all of our guests to contribute $1. Originally, the idea was to raise money for the learning centers. The learning centers, as many of you know, are really about teaching the next generation craftsmanship in a variety of different areas, including the automotive arts, the culinary arts, fashion design, and other areas, to inspire the next generation to put down their phones and actually work with their hands, which is not an easy thing to do. And so we thought, as a way of raising funds for this amazing program that we have, we'll ask each one of our guests to dare to give $1. But then right when the fair started, as we were experiencing 115-degree weather, we saw what happened in Texas. And now, of course, we've seen what's going on in Florida. And so the board of Fairplex made the decision that for the inaugural year of Dare to Give, we would be donating 100% of the proceeds to the American Red Cross to help our friends and family in the other parts of the country. So I encourage, yes. So if you haven't done so already, I encourage all of you to give, and we are committed to match whatever is generated by all of our guests. There's something else that we're doing this year to really emphasize how important our history is and how important the fair is to the memories of so many Southern Californians who have been coming to the fair as part of their own family traditions. So we, in the land of blue ribbons, which of course the fair is, we're passing out a blue ribbon for any individual who's been coming to the fair for 50 years. And I've been doing this now for the last 2 weeks. And I'm always surprised at how many people there are who've been where this campus has been part of their lives for at least 50 years. So is there anyone, I know there's someone back here, your very own city attorney, why don't you come on up and we'll give you your blue ribbon. And of course, because he's at the LA County Fair, he's wearing the appropriate attire celebrating our mascot Thumber. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's actually 60 years. I've been thinking about it. Just happy to be here and looking forward to Thumber's 100th. That's
Yes,
coming up.
That's right.
And thank you again.
Thank you.
Hi, Mary Ann Kistler.
Hi.
Thank you.
Put it on you?
If you would, please.
No problem. Okay, do you want to say a few words?
Well, I have been coming since I was in grammar school, and I have thoroughly enjoyed this. I can remember when the school district used to give us a half a day off and a ticket to come to the fair, and I have thoroughly enjoyed it ever since. Thank you.
So you have a red ribbon, now you have a blue one. Yeah.
All kinds of ribbons
Yes.
today.
Yes, exactly.
Well, my name is Marv, and I grew up in Montebello. And just as was said, back in those days, it was a school-wide opportunity to come to the fair. We used to all, kids in grammar school, load up in buses and come here and enjoy it, as well as my family always made a point here. So over all these years, my wife and I still come here and we spend our fair share of money.
Great, thank you.
Hi, I'm Chris Patera, and I'm here with my grandson who's being recognized today. But my family is from Laverne, the Montez Escoto family, and I've been coming to the fair every year with my family. It's been a tradition, and even more so, I've had my family work in the fair, and I'm actually working for Spectra. I'm a beer server on the weekends along with my regular job. So this is my fun job.
Great.
And thank you.
Thank you. I want to acknowledge some of, one more. Here.
She was trying
Wow.
to hide. I really.
Okay, my kids talked me into this because I didn't really want to say anything, but I did grow up in South Pasadena, and I have been coming to the fair for as long as I can remember, and I've always had a good time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I do want to acknowledge a few folks who are here today. We have a couple of board members of the Fairplex. Tina Loza, who's from the city of Pomona, and then your very own Sid Pinedo, who's a Laverne resident. I also want to acknowledge some of our association members. Chuck Cable, where are you? There you are. Roger Hannywalt. And of course, the president of the University of Laverne, Devorah Lieberman. Anyone else? I won't take. So, and then of course, I can't forget your mayor and one of my bosses, the association member and Mayor Don Kendrick. You know, I'm about to enter my 9th month as the president of Fairplex, and I have to say it's been really special to get to meet the leadership of this community, and Don has definitely been someone from the very beginning has welcomed me and introduced me to so many of you. But the thing that I most respect about what he does is that he is one of the most passionate people I've ever met around education and around the learning centers here at the complex. And early on in my tenure, he took me out to dinner in the beautiful city of Laverne, and he shared with me his vision for the learning centers, because he wants to make sure that every child in this community who wants to receive an education and be inspired has the opportunity. So we're very fortunate to have him not only as an association member, but as your mayor. Please help me welcome Don Kendrick.
So as Miguel said, he's been here for 9 months. And we had an interim before that. And Jim Henwood was here for 20 years. So how do you replace somebody that's been here for 20 years, leaves, and then we don't have anybody? And that is, I think you set your sights pretty high. Each one of our communities has an employee leader called a city manager. And I think all of us are familiar with that term. Well, I don't know how we pulled it off, but we did. So we pulled a city manager from a small community to the west of us to be our new president. That small community just happened to be Los Angeles. So he came from Los Angeles as the city manager, which that's not the title there, but we are honored to have you, Miguel. And I've had a number of meetings that I've been involved with, and his passion of creating something not just for these 543 acres, but for communities and how we can work better together and what we can bring so we can really do some special things in the San Gabriel Valley. And he has that passion. He lived in Claremont for 20 years. He knows us. He's been a part of us, and we're honored to have you. So thank you, Miguel, for everything you're doing. I've written down a lot of names, so I hope I don't miss anybody, but I'm going to ask at the end those that I did to please stand up, because I know I will. I've been trying to write them down as they came in. I'm going to start off with our city council and our mayor pro tem, Tim Herpern. I know he's over here. Tim. Council member Robin Carter. Where are you, Robin? There she is. Council member Charlie Rosales. Thank you, Charlie. We've already mentioned our University of Laverne president, Devora Lieberman, but I think we should do that again. Devora, thank you for being here. By the way, under her leadership, the University of Laverne has as many students as all the Claremont colleges put together. Is that amazing or what? You go. More. Okay, from our school district, we have 4 board members. Diane, Coach, I know there she is right there. Jim Elliott, I saw Jim, there he is. Patty Latterell, Patty, I saw you come in there, she is standing back here. Glenn Kleiman's back here, I saw you just come in, thanks for being here. Chuck is not here, is that correct? I don't see him. And the Christy Goyer is our superintendent. I know Christy's here in the green shirt. Thank you, Christy, for being here. And I know there's a lot of principals. Our Bonita principal, Ken Ritchie, is back there. He was a vice principal. He failed that, so they promoted him to principal. Thank you, Kenny. Love that promotion. Our planning commission, we have at least 3 that I know. Norm Faustini, Norm, Jason Simonson. Jason, where are you? There you are. Phil May is right here. And is there anybody else that, okay. And outside our community, we have a number of, one from the county, and I'll start with Catherine Barger, who is our supervisor in this district. And Deborah, I saw you here. Where are you? Anyway, let's give her a round. I know she's here. She's probably too embarrassed to stand up. From State Senator Anthony Portantino, Marco Lundgren. Marco, right there. He wears a T-shirt. I love it. You gotta love that. We have befriended our community, Senator Connie Leva's office. She doesn't represent us. She represents Pomona, but we're doing some good things together. And so she asked Benny Ayala to come and represent her. And I know that, Benny, where are you? You were over here. There you are right in front of me. Thank you very much for being here. And I know Sid Pinedo was mentioned. Sid Pinedo, who's a Laverne resident, is the very first board member from the city of Laverne. And we've been 95 years next door, and he's the first board member, and I am honored to have that representation. Honored to have you as a friend, Sid. Thank you for everything you're doing for this organization. It is people like Sid that is making the relationships between the communities better, and Laverne has a great relationship with this organization. You also have some art over here. I know there's some students here. I have the names of 2 of them. We saw her, the grandmother up here a minute ago getting a blue ribbon. Maddox Patera. Maddox is here somewhere. There he is, right there. Right, sitting right next to Miranda. And then Giovanni Miranda is here. I know he's here because he's got a cheering section. Okay, so if there's any others, I apologize. If you want to stand, we got one right there. There's a hand went up and a big smile on her face. So congratulations for being a contest honoree. Each and every one of you that I've mentioned and everybody else here makes Laverne the city that it is, and we greatly appreciate all your participation. This is just a way we can kind of get together and thank some special people for some special things, and I would like to do that as we get started. We have 4 people that we're going to honor today, and then I have a special presentation at the end because I think it's appropriate this time of year and for what this person has done, so I'm going to add that at the end. But I want to start off with our youngest, and that is Parker. Why don't you come up and join me up here, Parker? This is an amazing young man. Last November, as the student body president of Oak Mesa Elementary School, came across a situation that he wanted to try and rectify. Parker has had some eye problems. He's had 4 surgeries, gets done with one problem, does a high five because it's all fixed. A little bit later, whoops, it starts slipping again, and it goes back to the way it was. I'm not sure if we're all done with the surgeries, Parker, but I will tell you the event that I'm just going to tell you about, to me, exemplifies the quality of this young man. At the school, there was a young girl that had to have oxygen. So she, I think most of us know the little tube, and it goes up your nose. You got to carry the oxygen bottle with you and so forth. And there's some cruelty going on in some of our schools, unfortunately, and they're made to be fun of. In fact, Parker is a recipient of some of that. So Parker, though, ends up being the student body president, and he goes to the principal and he goes to the student council, and he says, I want to start a campaign for 1 week, and I want that campaign to be kindness. So the principal said it's a great idea. Student council said that's a great idea. They made a video. They showed it in every classroom. And not only did this 1 week kindness just explode, but it exploded for the rest of the school year. And it's probably going to be the motto of that school. So here's an elementary school that has kindness as one of its foundations. Do you think that's good in our community? I do. We honored him at a city council meeting because of what he did. It's carpeted, and I think you could have heard a pin drop. Got a standing ovation from everybody there. So he is our first recipient. We've honored other people, but he's our first recipient of an ongoing Youth of the City of Laverne, which will be an annual award. But I would like to thank Parker for everything he's done. And, you know, when we think about what kind of things that we can do to change the world, he's done them. He's already started a movement that has made his city and those in it better. So Parker, thank you very much. This is an LA County Fair tradition that we honor this, so Parker, you get to take this home with you. We also have some other awards from other certificates that we'd like to give you as well. He's got a "Be Kind" on his shirt. Does that say anything? Huh?
Hey, I'm Marco from Senator Portantino's office, and that was just an absolutely wonderful story to hear about the efforts of Parker and at his school and the movement that he started. So congratulations, Parker, and we look forward to watching you to continue to grow in your educational future. Thank you.
I gotta say, that's amazing. On behalf of the senator, we're really proud what you did, and we hope that you continue doing this, because I think in your whole community here is going to follow you, support you, so we want to see you succeed, and we want to see where you get to. Congratulations, Parker.
Next is a special person. He's a United States Navy veteran. Was a school teacher his whole adult career. So once he retires, he joins the Laverne Police RSVP, which is a retired volunteer senior patrol. He has spent over 1,500 hours volunteering. Marv, we get to take your picture today. He is the camera guy of Laverne, and he does this free of charge. Pictures show up at your office, at your homes, that he has taken, that are complimentary, that he's pays for. So, Marv, if you'll come, there he is. And he's been to the fair 50 years. It's only appropriate we honor you here. This man exemplifies giving of his time, and he does it all the time. I am not around him that he is not volunteering. So this is another person who makes Laverne the community that it is. So Marvin, thank you. You want to say something? You don't have to.
Well, it's wonderful to think about receiving this award when you're doing something you're having fun doing, and to be here in Laverne, which we just love this community, and to be doing things that are meaningful to others is just a real special gift. So I really thank the City Council and our Mayor Don for this award. You know, I just can't tell you how much it means, and you know, to be a part of the people that are being recognized today is a very special thing. So thank you so much.
Okay, guys. Marco.
Congratulations, Marv.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate all the work.
Oh, boy, that's beautiful. Thank you.
Should we, Benny, you want to?
Just want to tell you congratulations on behalf of the senator. Thank you for
thank
everything you
you.
do. Here's a certificate of recognition.
Grab a photo.
This is really nice.
This next award is for the Jim Scranton Sports Volunteer of the Year award, and it may be one of the hardest ones that I've ever done. It certainly was when we gave this honor, and then we held another event later on. This is an honor of Kirk Johnson. Unfortunately, we are not presenting it to Kirk. We're presenting it to his wife. Kirk died last August, just a little over a year ago. He was in his early 50s, way too young to depart this earth. But when I look at the contributions that Kirk did, and I've known him most of my life, he didn't leave without allowing a legacy behind him. He did more in his young life than most people do in a much longer life. He was born and raised in Laverne. His father was a previous mayor in the city of Laverne, very involved in this community. But the one thing I think that Kirk really, really was passionate about was teaching. And he just happened to pick baseball to young kids as his classroom. Kirk and Debbie had a really nice house have a nice house, because Debbie still lives there, in North Laverne, and they have a really neat view of the valley. But that view wasn't good enough for Kirk, because he brought in a batting cage and put it right across that view. And he has taught hundreds and hundreds of kids how to bat. And he was pretty athletic. His father was athletic. His older brother was athletic. And so he passed that love and those skills on to younger people. And so I don't know if that baseball cage is still there, Debbie, but I will tell you that he was out there, if it was daylight and it wasn't raining, or maybe if it was raining, there was kids out there hitting baseballs, and Kirk was out there teaching them. He passed away in August. In February of this year, we have a Little League baseball park. It's called Pelota Park, Spanish for ball. We have renamed that park, and it is now the Kirk B. Johnson Memorial Pelota Park, and did so in his honor. It is my honor to present this award to his wife, Debbie. Debbie, would you please come forward?
I just want to say thank you to the city of Laverne, and let all those Little Leaguers, if any of you boys are in Little League, come on over and hit. The cage is still there, and there's plenty of teachers. We've got a lot of the high school kids teaching other young ones too now. So, all right, thank you.
The legacy grows. Thank you, Debbie. I've had the honor of knowing Debbie for a lot of years, and appreciate everything you've done and support for your family during it and since your passing of Kirk. Our last honoree is for the Older American Volunteer of the Year Award. And Leo, why don't you come up? Leo is from the Bronx in New York. If you listen to him speak, you'll know it. But he's lived in California for over 40 years, served with the 24th Infantry Regiment in the Army, 2 years active, 6 years in the reserves. Been here in Laverne for 21 years, and he's volunteered straight almost every day for 14 years at our Laverne Community Center. So everybody knows Leo, a great guy. We love him. So.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Why don't we let's get some pictures.
It's a real honor to represent the city of Laverne. You got a great community, and I love it. So God bless Laverne.
I'm adding a tribute today, because 2 days ago was a special day. It was a remembrance of 16 years ago what happened in New York with the Twin Towers and the following events. 9/11, 2001. I don't think we need to get too far away from that to realize the value of this country, not only to ourselves as free Americans, but for those around the world that depend on us for their freedom as well. And so I asked a very special person in Laverne to be a part of this today, and he agreed. Carl Harstein is a 92-year-old Marine. Like many Americans at that time, he was summoned to serve and enlisted in the Marine Corps on his 17th birthday. He went into the 3rd Marine Division. He fought in Guam, hand-to-hand combat, until that island was free. I know that island because I served on it 4 years. And it was a key island for the Japanese, and it became an even more key for the United States when we freed it. He served with distinction, receiving many awards, including the Marksmanship Award and the Asian Pacific Merit Award, before being discharged at the end of the war in 1945. His positive contributions continue with a creation of a wonderful family, carefully crafted career, and giving back to others by supporting Laverne and attending all veteran events honoring others for their service and sacrifices. We don't hold an event in Laverne that honors military that this man is not there and wearing his uniform. A lot of us that serve cannot get into our uniforms. I see some hands up from the VFW guys in the back. Carl can get in his uniform. I'm impressed. So on behalf of the city of Laverne, as the mayor, we wish you best wishes from the city, Carl. We commend you for a lifetime of service to keep this country free and to honor those that are still doing it. So if we can all please, I'm not going to ask him to get up, even though I think he probably could, but if we can please honor this man and thank him for all the service that he's done.